Hey guys, welcome to the final day for this week in our 3-a-day CSEC multiple choice questions. As you know, we're working the May 2011 paper, and today we are at questions 43 to 45, and we are so lucky. All these questions are based on just one diagram. All right, so we hit the road. Don't forget you can like the video and comment to let me know how helpful these are for you, or if you're having any difficulties. Yeah, and share with your friends. All right, question number 43. So it says, the diagram shows the sport chosen by 160 boys who participated in a games evening at their school. All right, question 43 says, all right, and we observe the diagram. We notice there's football, boxing, tennis, cricket, swimming. The number of boys who chose football is, all right, and if we look at the sector of the circle that deals with football, then we notice that it forms, there's a perfect right angle formed right there at the center, and so we can think 90 degrees. All right, so football, number of persons, of course, number of boys who do football is going to be 90 degrees out of the entire 360 degrees of the circle. All right, so you make that connection. So it's this fraction of the total. All right, 160 boys, not degrees. All right, so it's that fraction of the total, and once we're going to replace off with multiplication there. All right, and you simplify. All right, once you start your simplify, I know some persons like to do this, divide by 10 first so that they get rid of those zeros. Then 9 into itself 1, 9 into 36 4. You can simplify further. Oh, well, some people like to do this as well, over 1. All right, and then simplifying further, we have 4 into 160, which gives us 40. All right, so we know that 40 boys chose football. By the way, you could easily, by looking at the diagram, seeing the 90 degrees, you know there are going to be 4 90 degrees in one circle. So already you know that, give me just a second, that was nasty. All right, so already you know that football takes up a quarter of the circle. So instead of the 90 degrees over 360 degrees, you just simply go, football is a quarter of the total. All right, and you would have gotten your 40. All right, let's look at the second question. The probability that a boy chosen at random participated in boxing is, and we did probability yesterday, you know, it's going to be a fraction, and probability that someone chose boxing is going to be that fraction for boxing over the total. So again, you can go, all right, so the probability is going to be, all right, you can look at the degrees. Boxing, 45 degrees out of the total, which is 360 degrees. And once you simplify that, you are going to get 1/8. 1/8. All right, and this is just one of the methods that you could use. All right, you could also say, all right, so you can pause the video so you can write that off, because I'm going to clear the screen. You could also think of the number of persons who do boxing. All right, so you could find out how many persons do boxing. Number of boys who do boxing is going to be this fraction of 160. All right, after you work this out, you will realize that that is 20 boys. And then you can go ahead and say, so the probability for boxing is going to be number of boys who do boxing over total number of boys. And that, of course, would have been 20 out of the entire 160 boys. And again, you would have gotten 1/8. All right, there is another way, and I'm just going to say that quickly as well. So pause the video so you can take any notes. If football is 90 degrees, I was going to say percent. If football is 90 degrees and boxing is 45 degrees, and earlier we found out that boxing is a quarter, football is a quarter. And we know that boxing is half of whatever fraction football is. So you can even think of it that way. So boxing is half of a quarter, which is also going to give 1/8. All right. And if you find any other ways to approach this, kudos to you. All right. And final question, 45. How many boys participated in cricket? Ta-da-dee. All right. So there are, again, a number of ways that you could look at that. Some persons could make the connection between this angle and this angle. If you notice, those two angles would have been equal. All right, let me draw it a little better to see if. All right, so yeah, those two angles would have been equal. And so you could have said the number of persons who do cricket is also equal to this combination of the number of persons who do football and boxing. And we know that football, there were 40 persons who did football, plus 20 who did boxing. And so that would have been a total of 60 persons who played cricket. All right. Also, you could have looked at the fact that the right here is a straight line, which means all these two angles here come together to make 180 degrees, 180 degrees. And you could look further and say, okay, so since this angle and this angle makes up 180 degrees, if I know how much degrees tennis would be, then I can know how much cricket would be. All right. And by the looks of things, this portion here is 90 degrees. So if boxing is 45, then tennis must be 45. If tennis is 45 degrees, then cricket must be 180 degrees minus that 45 degrees. All right. Of course, because we had said both angles are on a straight line. And so we would have known that cricket is 135 degrees off. So let me go down here. 135 degrees out of the entire total number of degrees in the circle. So cricket would be this fraction of the 160 boys. All right. And again, once you work that out, you would have gotten, well, it depends on which angle you take it. So 10 into both of these. Yeah. All right. And then we go, let me use a different ink. 4 into 16 goes 4 times, 4 into 36 goes 9 times, and 9 into 135 is going to go 15 times. 15 times 4, we still get our 60 degrees. All right. So whichever angle you take it from, you would have gotten the correct answer. And that is it for today's episode. I will see you next week, Monday. All right. For the fourth and final week, working the May 2011 paper. All right. I hope you'll also stay tuned for the papers that we will do in the coming year. All right. And you can go ahead and look through the other videos that are there on the channel. We also had a Saturday Night Live feature last year. So if you want to go through any of those videos, you can. And there are other videos to take care of basic math concepts that persons usually mess up. So you can just play around and look at the videos that are there prepared for you. I will see you when I see you next week.